Welcome back, everybody. We are going back to our reviews of the McFarlane Bane Build-A-Wave. As you can see, it comes with the Joker. He's off to the side over there. Doesn't fit. The Batman, Scarecrow, Harvey Dent, and the Build-A-Figure Bane. As you can see, almost all of them are at 7.5 inches, except for Harvey Dent, which is just at 7 inches. Or 7.25 inch, almost all of them, except for Batman with his bat wings, bat ears, is going to be around 7.75 inches. So let's go ahead and start the review. We'll do it one by one. We're going to start with the Joker, since he's the only one that's off camera. So here's the Joker. It doesn't exactly look like Heath Ledger. It kind of reminds me of, was it Medicom's Joker? The 1/6 scale? He doesn't quite capture it, but it's good enough. It's reminiscent of Heath Ledger's Joker. Nice texturing. Nice detail. You do have the pins over there. It's just, you got painted gold over there. Textured pants. Kind of these this different colors does kind of detract from the figure, but it's okay. Most of the time it'll be at least it's okay for me. I don't know about you guys. Then he has these shoes. I don't really mind when people call it a diaper thingies. I'm okay with that. I don't see it, but I'm okay. Yeah. I mean, I like it. Standard articulation for McFarlane figures. As you can see. I think the important part is, can it look up? No, because the hair is basically hitting there. Looks damn good enough. Side to side on the head. Soft body plastic, so you can do a bend. After that it can hold a pose. Like that, so you can bend back. Legs can go high, so these leg swivels, it really depends on how loose you have the joint here on all McFarlane figures. But it can do a good enough, you know. And then of course double jointed knees will give you everything you need. This I don't really need this to go up and down too much. I just need to be able to swivel enough the ankle so that I can plant it firmly on the ground. And one of the main gripes I have with McFarlane is because this sometimes is ratcheted. Sometimes it's stiff. Sometimes the ratcheted are spaced apart so much that it's not standing still enough, or it's either going to be too loose or it's going to be too stiff. Ratchet gears are too far apart that you cannot get the right stand so that it stands on its own. That's all going to be on all McFarlane figures. This guy comes with an interesting accessory, which is the money pile. I use it for him to sit on like a throne. And I had him on a thinking pose like that. That's why. for Heath Ledger. All right, now let's go on to the next figure, which happens to be Harvey Dent. Again, the face sculpt evokes the character enough, but not necessarily a good likeness or perfect likeness. I really believe that McFarlane is no longer pursuing portrait rights so that he can cut down on the cost of his figures, and I'm kind of okay with that for a $20 figure. And I'll consider this as a $20 figure instead of what I paid for, which is $24.95, because it's a Build-A-Figure. If it's like $5 per figure, it's $20 for the Bane figure, and so I'm just basically considering this as a 5-figure wave, which cost me $100. So nice paint application enough. I don't need it to be super detailed. For something this close, I can see it well enough. Something far away, it's good enough as well too. Has a little bit of a paint flush on the cheeks. You can pick that up. Look, he's even got detail on the shirts. That's a texture, so it evokes some sort of a pattern on the shirt, which is nice. Same thing with the tie. Textured on the good side of his coat, and then on the bad side of his coat, where it's all burnt. Nothing in the back. The Hot Toys one had this one textured as well. Yeah, look at that. Looks like a guy in a suit, so I'm good with that. Coin is already plugged in. Doesn't come with a revolver, which I really wish he should have. So I don't even know. Gonna have to find a revolver for this guy. See, can he look up a little bit? Yeah, a little bit. Look down just like the Joker. Off to the side. There's an ab cut over here. So this is a solid body, unlike the Joker. So as you can see, there's a little bit less crunch than the Joker. Going back is not a problem. Nice enough detail that, you know, just look at that. Because he painted it differently than, maybe it's just the texture that just really pulls out that belt. So that's nice. Almost the same range as the Joker, a little bit lower. Got this cut again here. So as you can see, this one is just not twisting as much as the Joker did. This one's barely twisting, same figure, right? It's constructed inside the same way, so it's just a matter of maybe going in there and kind of loosening it up. I'll go back to the issue of that once we go on to Bane. I found out something that's kind of interesting about it. Anyway, that's the Two-Face Harvey Dent figure. We're gonna go on to the Scarecrow. There's his face. I'll probably just repaint this to tone this down. I really don't know what this is. They say it's the maggots coming out in the nightmare scene, but he never wore this jacket, I think, in the nightmare scene. This is from when they were escaping and he was on a horse, as far as I know. Yeah. In this one, I think the wash is too heavy. You can see it's really grimy. It's almost like just splashed on. I kind of prefer it more like this rather than this. This kind would make sense here, maybe the bottom, but not in the middle. But then he was sitting on a horse, maybe that makes sense. But a lot of detail in this figure. You still have that bicep thing, I think it's inside. that we know. Nope, it doesn't. It doesn't have that bicep ring. But yeah, they still have the range that you need. That's pretty cool. It doesn't have a double joint on the elbows, probably because of the sculpt. I think when the body and the hand design gets a lot of complicated, McFarlane just goes to the single bicep joint. So, oops, he popped them off. Look at that. I'm not sure if you would call that stress, but the good thing in the rubber, good thing about McFarlane is that it's so easy, you know, you can pop it back in just fine. Anyway, because that's rubber, then you should be able to bend it a little bit more. It's a little bit harder with this one because of the coat. It's a little bit more stiffer than usual. And because of this coat that goes down a little bit more, it's going to be hard to... there you go. I guess it'll be good. It goes up that much. Double jointed knees. Yeah. And you might notice comparing it to Harvey Dent's pants, it's a completely different sculpt. See that? See the bottom of the pants? Different sculpt. Really cool that he's at least doing that. You see the Joker. The Joker is also a different sculpt from Harvey Dent. Look at the wrinkles. Different sculpt from Scarecrow. That's kind of like I like about McFarlane. He does reuse parts, but they're varied enough that you know it's not like you can always see, oh, that's a reuse parts. No, you have to go back and see that he actually went different. So this one actually goes up a little bit higher, a lot more lower. Really nice that he does that. Okay. This guy comes with two sets of another pair of hands. I believe these hands you can use so that he can hold on to a horse. So you can put this in one of your McFarlane horses if you have one. On to the next figure, which is the Batman. You can't really miss or mess up the portrait on this one because you only have the lower mouth, and the only way to evoke Christian Bale is to have that longer chin, and that's basically it. So you don't need to get his portrait rights too much. There's the cowl on the side. Nice varying paints. Makes the costume pop out, so it's just not complete black. I mean, we finally get a good figure of the Dark Knight Batman in 7-inch scale. These Batmans, I really want to go ahead and replace these capes. Well, let's see. Articulation should be, let's see. Should be good. Yeah. Yep. Pretty good like that. Goes down pretty good. Left to the right. Soft rubber here, so you can move the shoulder around. You can lift it that much, but it will go back down because of the shoulder. It does warp it, but it's very soft, so it'll go back again. Bicep, nice. Twist on the wrist, back and forth. Ab crunch is hidden nicely because of design, and he only goes, that's good enough. Goes back way too much more than I need. Waist swivel. You can force it. It will bend this a little bit too much more than I want. Double jointed knees. Nice range on the ankles. It does have an ankle pivot. You can feel that ratchet action, you see? Yeah. It's too big. Too big. And I have my other Batmans for comparison. Oh, but actually, it comes with 3 batarangs and a gold bat gun. So once Keaton comes in, we're gonna have a lot of the major Batmans, which makes me want to get, or which makes me want McFarlane to do the rest of the Batmans, even Kilmer and Clooney and the first Batman, and then the Batman Returns costume and all that stuff. So there they are. I'm still kind of customizing this guy because I want a cape for him. I'm trying to look at the height. This guy, Pattinson's Batman, is actually higher than the rest of them. Wait a minute. Yeah. Don't look at his number because they're starting off at 1. Let's see. Bring it down here. Okay, so Bale is, it's kind of leaning before. I'm gonna count it from the top of the head, not the bat ears. 7 inches. 7 inches. He is about 7 and maybe a quarter. So adding on the bat ears, obviously he's is shorter, so he's gonna look a little bit shorter, but he is the bulkiest of all the 3. Pattinson is the narrowest. This one's regular. I mean, which is good for Pattinson because he was kind of lanky and narrow in the movie anyway. And obviously, Affleck was the bulkiest. I really wish he had done the first costume, which is what I prefer more than the Justice League version. Alright, so we're going now to the Build-A-Figure, which is Bane. Let's see, here's the portrait. Good enough. With the vest. I don't think I'm gonna get the exclusive that has the long overcoat. The vest is good enough. Is good for me. Has a wide range of motion. I do wish the hands were and shoulders were bulkier. That would give him more mass. The way it looks. Yeah. Paint apps are just enough. I think you can improve on all these figures if you were good at painting and you mess around with the painting. So what I was talking about, the joints over here, obviously this is a Build-A-Figure. I was able to see inside. This is just because this is rubber, as we know. This inside is an armature inside here. There's an armature in here. This is solid. The flesh tone of the upper body is solid plastic, but it cuts off here, and then he has a rubber overlay of the coat. So in here is all skeleton. Over here, when you're putting the legs in, don't experiment with it. It's really hard to pull it out again once you have it in. But that also shows you that inside here is only a peg. It connects to a peg. So you should be able to turn this. Notice that this turns a little bit more. Well, this one is not. That's just very tight joints in there. So there is room in there to have your bicep or your thighs twist. And that squeaking is not a ratchet. That's just friction. And it has double jointed knees. You already checked the elbows, right? Yep. And has a boot cut over here. I'm having a problem with this ankle. There it is. There you go. But you can hear the ratchets are like really big. I'm sure it also has a, yep, it has an ankle swivel as well. Now, because this is a Build-A-Figure, Todd was able to pack in a lot of hands in this one. You have the close-fisted hands, and you have these other hands. So he's coming in with 3 pairs of hands, which I really like, because I think otherwise, if this was not a Build-A-Figure and the wave was just regular 5 figures at $20 each or $22 each, he would have just put in like either another extra set of hands with Bane. And they all come with their cards, except for Bane, of course. There's the Joker, the Batman, Harvey Dent, and obviously the 4 stands. So there you go, guys. I think in terms of the value, great for nostalgia. We finally get the Dark Knight figures, and I wish and I really hope he'll do more. I considered, like I said, I consider these more as a $20 figure rather than the $24.95, because the Build-A-Figure I just count as an extra figure. The paint could be better, but these are just, I still consider these as toys rather than collectibles. So for toys, I believe that he did a good job in terms of paint. Texture is obviously well done. It helps the figure. I think this would do well with my collection. The only thing is I really wish these could go down a little bit more. And I'm noticing that his legs are now more spread out than usual. See how the Joker can put his legs together? I seems to be getting like a lot of resistance, and even with Harvey Dent, it doesn't do it. So I really like my figures to be able to put their hands down on the side as much as they can. This is how I would rather prefer them, but I understand design limitations might prevent that. So yeah, I feel like for the price, I'm getting a really good value on these figures, and yeah, I love them, and I hope that he'll do more and get more figures from the Dark Knight, even though I'm not much into the movie figures, more towards the cartoon versions. Obviously because he's not even pursuing likeness rights anyway. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys will be back. I have more stuff to review. I'm trying to get them out as quickly as possible as more stuff come in. Late April, I'm going to be getting a huge product that I'm going to be reviewing. So I need to get these out by April, by this month. Thank you so much. Tune in for more stuff, and we'll see you again.